1, 2, Uniflu.
Uniflu.
Yeah, did you not remember that ad? 1, 2, Uniflu. That's all.
I don't recognise that at all.
No, I can't say I do.
I know
Oh, maybe
1-2 buck on my shoe.
Oh, it was an ad for it was some drug you can take for the flu, whatever. And
Okay, I see.
Yeah, whatever.
I know
I
Night
thought it was
Nurse.
an English.
Night
Maybe
Nurse
it's an
is classic.
Madness. I remember the guy walking through a raining street with an umbrella, and he sneezed, and all these other people with umbrellas just parted ways like the Red Sea, because they were all like, "COVID. Oh wait, no, it's 2004. It doesn't exist."
Man.
Oh, the good old days pre-2020. God.
Oh, mate, they were the days. I've recently, in fact, we're podcasting, so I'm going to shut up.
No, keep going. This is it. We're in it.
Okay,
We're in it.
okay. So here's one, lads. I have started playing Pokemon Go again
Oh wow.
with the same account that I used it's now 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I think the only reason I'm doing that is because I wish it was 2018 again.
You're trying to blank out what's happened the past couple of years.
Yeah, I've had so much trauma. I've been in isolation about 5,000 times. And yeah, I'm bored. I'm sick of it. Get me out. Let me play some gigs. Oh, and oh, look, a little Charizard. I'll catch that. But yes, how are we? How are we, gentlemen? What's on the dodge? Give me the lowdown. Let's go.
We're good.
You are everywhere, and I love it. It's because you're sucking that vape pen thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's new. Yeah, actually. So to our listeners and to our patrons and to people who don't care about us, but I'm just going to be nice to you anyway. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We're in 2022. We are 2 years deep into this podcast.
We're 2 years deep into a podcast.
I'm wrong. I'm incorrect. We're 1 year in. Ooh, daddy, no.
He'll
cut that out.
Year.
He'll cut that out. That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, we're 2 years minus 1 year in. All right.
2 years. Right. Yes, we are. So yes, and it's been an interesting one. I remember Marv talking about this like last year, being 2016. That was a good year.
That was a good year.
I nearly had a mental breakdown. We started in money off music somewhat, and yes, here we are. We are here 6 years on. And talking about this, it's been amazing that everyone's made that possible. So thank you to everyone who has become a patron, who has listened on Spotify, who has watched YouTube clips, commented, liked Instagram, Facebook stuff. And this is not a plug, but I'm turning it into one. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Spotify, we are on Podbean. And yeah, keep them coming. Keep those comments coming in. Want to hear it. Hear it. And yeah, we got merch. We're talking about changing up the merch soon, but anyway, that's a discussion for a little while. Anyway, we would like to welcome a bit of a different episode. And yeah,
you're on the edge. You're on the edge each time.
Eatering. We'd like to welcome Oisins, who is joining us for the second time.
Thank you very much.
Lovely guy. Love
special.
talking to him. Oh, you are a special machine.
Even though he's got a Beatles hoodie on, right? I am the Beatles nerd here. I'm the official Beatles nerd. I mean,
but
comes a very close second.
Oh, thank you.
It's all good.
So, yeah.
How have you been? How's been your Christmas and start a new year?
Yeah, the Christmas has been great. Obviously, it feels so much more like Christmas now because I have a baby. He's 1.5. He came in. He had all of his presents lined up. He doesn't, obviously he doesn't know Santa Claus. He walks in and he just goes, "Oh, happy!" And he just goes, "I'm happy." And I was like, "Oh, that's just
amazing.
All that money, it's worth it just to see it." And oh man, it was just the cutest thing. Anyway, New Year, we all got COVID, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Man. So I met up with a load of my mates, as you do. As I thought it was okay, we all did our antigens, they're supposed to be, well, we didn't know how bad they were or unreliable they were,
Yeah.
We all, did them before our meet up on Stephen's Day, actually, and met up, played Cards Against Humanity, had a great time. And then, what was it, 2 days later, one of my mates, I'm positive, lads. And I was like, are you
Oh
kidding me? Like,
no.
yeah. So,
It's so savage, isn't it? What's the so what's like
awful.
what's all the regulations then in Ireland compared to us? Because we've been slashed down to, if you get you have to isolate for 5 days now. I think a PCR and a lateral flow you have to pay for now, Mez. Is that correct?
I do believe, unless it's changed drastically since I last looked, it was on 2 days consecutively if you're negative on lateral flows.
Yeah.
You're fine. PCRs wouldn't really work at this point for a lot of people, including myself, because if you become positive on a PCR, you will be positive for the following 3 months after you've had COVID. So if I test on a PCR again, they're just going to be like, yeah, you got it, mate, sorry.
Right.
So I do believe it over Christmas, it changed down to like 7. Test on the 6th day, test on the 7th. If you're negative on both, you're fine. Now it's 5 if you're double jabbed, you have 2 negative LFTs,
Yeah.
we call it. So I mean that's much better that it's cut down that much. Obviously, as long as that is scientific advice and that's not just the government going, oh, we need to make money. Oh, cheese and wine party, anyone?
Cheese and wine.
Tell me about it. So yeah, I think that's good. But Asheen, tell me what's on the dog in the order.
Yeah, what's the island regulations?
Well, as far as I know, we've been stricter than UK in every way. Like we're 10 days after you get, if you're a close contact, you have to self-isolate for 5 days, or 10 days. And we don't have lateral flow. We just have the antigens, or is that the same thing? I'm not sure, but
is that the thing with it's like a rectangle and it has the stripes?
It looks like a pregnancy test. Like,
yeah, it's the same as what we got.
All right, okay, right. Well, we call them antigen tests, and we just you have to buy them in the supermarket, the pharmacy, wherever, right? And you just have loads of them. If you get positive, you have to go and get a PCR test, and it's 10 days. It's only been this week. I think it's now 7 days here. If you're double jabbed,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still like face masks on all the time, inside places, and a lot of the pubs I think are still closing early, and the nightclubs I think they're not even open. Like we're pretty strict,
Wow.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, what in the UK you don't even have to wear the mask or something like that.
I think now they've come back in, so you have to wear masks in like shopping centers and public places. But we've got the COVID passport thing, so
yeah.
What was happening, I don't know if it's changed now, but if you did a lateral flow and then went onto the government website and recorded it and said, hey, I'm negative, that's how you got into a nightclub. You'd have a separate app and you go, right, here's my COVID passport. I think within 12 hours or 24 hours, you have to do a test to be able to get into these places.
Yeah, I believe it's like 72 hours, I think it is before, but also, I kind of looked at that and I was like, I kind of get the thought process behind that. But also, 72 hours ago, you could be positive easy in 72 hours. Like you can be positive in like 2 hours, But I have my second jab on Tuesday. I'm told I won't need the booster for at least 3 months. So yeah, I'm thinking that's pretty cool. Now I'm okay to go and do stuff. I had a friend contact me today, and they were like, "Oh, my mum tested positive like yesterday or today or something, and I didn't see her since like beginning of the last week or something. But it might still be a good idea to do your thing." I had it in December, so I do have raised immunity. I do believe she's got the same thing that I had, but I'm still going to do an LFT. I feel fine. I had a headache yesterday, but I'm told that's a side effect of the jab. I'm not coughing, but the one thing that still upsets me a little bit is my smell and taste still isn't 100% back.
Wow.
Right.
It's there, but but I can smell. It's really weird. I can smell and taste things individually,
It's not
but
the
it's
same.
no. It's like my nose and mouth won't talk to each other. It's very, very
Can you smell that?
odd. Yeah, I can actually.
Like good, is it? Nice.
Oh,
No,
that's good
it's
smell.
horrible.
That's good
Horrible.
stuff, isn't it?
You can spell that over
yeah.
Zoom. You're
Yeah,
fine.
Super smell.
I lied. It's actually become amazing.
Well, you know, I didn't lose smell or taste at all. I think I had Omicron. Do you know the variant?
Omicron. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as I know, it's like a more subtle version. So
Yeah.
I guess you had the full on COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
had
mean,
it.
I've been informed that if you have a if you do a PCR, they test for like 5 days. Sort of 5 days. They do like further testing. Is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, that's what I'm basically trying to get across. And what they'll do is they stringently test for other strains now, and they tell you apparently. Although I don't think I've actually heard of anyone getting this news. Like I said, I got my PCR back, and they were like, "Yeah, you're positive. Stay away from everyone."
Yeah.
But they didn't say anything about
What variant? Yeah.
about no, they didn't say anything about that. But I do believe there is a correlation between how infectious you are after the 10 days. Brian May had it, and on day 10, he was still showing really strong positive on LFTs. Day 11, it was starting to fade.
Who's Brian May
yeah.
again? Who's that? Is he?
Your mum.
My mum is Brian May. Wow. All this time, I've never known that.
Yeah.
So mature, man.
So mature, man.
So mature.
But yeah,
Well,
so my experience of COVID was a bit of a rough cold.
I just need to tell this. You know,
here we go.
We all met Brian May briefly in BIM, right? And
not really met him. I met him years ago.
All right, you met him separately, maybe, but he came to BIM and he did a spiel about politics. It wasn't even music. It was such a letdown. But
Green Party stuff, yeah,
badges and stuff.
Do you know what I did after? I shook hands with him and I said something just lame, like, "Oh, you're such a great inspiration to me. I play guitar too."
No!
And I licked my hand and swallowed it. Not even joking. I was thinking, I'm a bit of rock star at me now. That's pre-COVID days. That's to show how
that is how reckless you were.
Wow. Yeah, reckless. Whatever. 20-year-old pushing.
I'd never do that now. That's
oh my god, I know.
Cards.
Yeah. It
That's
doesn't matter if it's
disgusting.
Paul McCartney. No, I'm not licking my hand afterwards. Sorry, Paul.
Exactly. All this COVID talk, you know, I'm gonna segue in. This is the professionalism in me, right? All this
Here we
COVID
go.
talk, right? Isolation. People want to sit down. They want to binge Netflix. All right. Maybe they get DVD box sets, right? But we're going to talk about actual CD box sets, vinyl box sets, music box sets. All right. I'm even going to show up one now. What's that then, Mez?
Or special editions of things.
Or special editions of things. You know, you put on your favorite album by your favorite bands, and you're like, you know, I want more. How is the sausage made? Especially for us two, where, you know, for us three, where we're like, you can play along to songs and you're like, how the hell did these people come up with these chords or these lyrics, or what's the inspiration for this? Luckily, you can buy things where it's like 1 million discs of like, okay, this person sniffed on this day and they had a hamburger this day and they woke up and then they played this riff and you're like, oh, that's how brown sugar was made, you know? So you get things like this, huge box sets, right? Keeping it in suspense, what it is, right? It's just a white box.
I know what it is.
He knows what it is.
It's how to.
Is that Mac Mini?
It's a Mac Mini pod. Yeah.
Nice. No, it's how to try and stop being such a dirty, disgusting nerd. But it's failing you, Marv. So you didn't need to spend that.
I've never opened it. All right, I'll always be a nerd. But yes, again, I don't know anyone who buys box sets and deluxe editions as like a passing casual fan. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I've never heard this band before. So if I was like, hey, Mez, I've never really got into Gojira. What album should I go for? You'd be like, oh, get the deluxe box set reissue with all the things in it. It would just be too much. I think, like, by proxy, you have to be like at least a good fan of bands or artists to then buy box sets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Well,
I would agree. I would agree. Absolutely would agree with that.
Oisins?
Yeah.
The thing is, like only recently there's been a divide in different kinds of box sets. So there's traditionally the first kind of box sets I ever saw were discography box sets, where you have a box like the Beatles box, like all their studio albums in one. And only recently you have the bigger dive, the deeper dive into like the outtakes and the different mixes, rough mixes and demos, and of classic albums, and you see them. I saw one guy that I love on YouTube, 45 RPM or audiophile. He said it was the 2021 was the year of the box set, and I think he's right in that. Well, the last 2 years been insane. Like there's so many 50th anniversaries, including the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Beach Boys, and I think they know that their audiences are older now and they have money, and they're cranking these things out, man.
They really are.
They really are.
Yeah. And 50, especially, I think 50 and 60 especially 50, but I think 60 is way more important than something like 40. I think 20 is good and 30 is good. 10 years, like, okay, you've kind of reached that.
Half a century.
It's kind of cute, isn't it? It's like sweet.
Yeah.
And then you get like 25 as well. I think for maybe not for box sets, but for like artists who have a 25-year career, that seems like a big thing in that regard. But 50, 60, and 40, they're the big ones. And we've got, what a year have we got for that? I mean, that's 62, 72. It's very, very good.
It is. And the definitely, like, obviously the fans of these bands, of these albums, you're right, they're a bit older now. They've got their careers, they've got money and stuff. So it's a good time to push this content out, because it is very much like a win-win. Like, imagine being around when George Harrison released All Things Must Pass, and now all of a sudden, like, imagine you're an enormous fan and you want more. You want more of this stuff. Like, give it. And he releases that, and despite the fact it is a remortgage the house price, you can go and buy that. You can go and buy that, and you can enjoy it. And I think that's really cool. Like I said, it's a win-win, because the artist is redistributing more of their content, and it becomes a point of interest again. And on top of that, the fan, the consumer, us three stinking little nerds, can go, oh, can you believe that George Harrison wore this hat on day 2 of recording? All things must pass. Oh, I me mine. Oh, my sweet lord. Oh,
and it brings them into a newer audience. I think when you see a nice, shiny, updated version, especially when you get into, like, if they've remixed it for 2022 or something like that, people go, okay, I'll give that a go. Like, look at all the remastered games. You look at like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, which was 22 years old. It's like potatoes everywhere. It's like almost unplayable now. But you look at the remake and you're like, it's exactly the same game, but in a way it's not. Yeah. But that's the same with all these box sets. I know Oisins more of like an audiophile.
Oh no.
Apart from us, I know that's a very triggered word, audiophile. But you're definitely more into like
the sound quality.
Sound qualities, certain types of vinyl, certain types of these things. So I tell you what, we're talking about George Harrison right now. So I feel like
might as well just...
I feel like we should dive into that. So I'm gonna make Oisin the host. Here we go.
Here we go.
This one was interesting. I think Oisin sent me this and he was like, oh my God, look at this. And I was like, are you for real?
Insane. Insane.
I just...
So it's All Things Must Pass Uber Deluxe box set.
Yes.
Right? And it's an actual crate, and it's got the vinyl box set, which is how many vinyls is it? Like, it's 8 LPs, right?
Wow.
And then it's got the whole CD version of the box set as well, which is 5 CDs and a Blu-ray house in a big the design wouldn't create, accompanied by two really well designed books. Like, it's crazy. It looks, when you go through these books, there's a video that I've watched, Norman Maslow on YouTube, and he does a great unboxing of this. And he it looks like these are like stuck in the book. These pieces of paper here.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And this bookmark here is apparently from the tree or a tree in George Harrison's garden. Like, and we all know George Harrison, he was into gardening. Like, he went out and it was like part of his daily routine. He'd go out and he'd spend time walking, be one with nature, and then he'd go have his breakfast and he'd play the guitar. It was part of his daily day-to-day thing. And we also know that he was obsessed with meditation, and he got into a lot of stuff in the late 60s with the Beatles. They went to meet the Maharishi and Maharishi Yogi, and we even have these beads here, and it's kind of crazy. But the thing is, the controversial thing is the price tag, which is 1,000 beans, $1,000. Like, how much would you typically pay for a CD?
Yeah, this is the
£10?
crazy thing. It's one album. It's one album. I mean, it's three. I got like a 3-disc box set of it. But if it was all of his albums, I think I could justify the price a little bit more. But I think £1,000 is just.
The thing is, though, like, the main two things in this is the vinyl part of it. It actually, if I zoom in here again, right? So you see this little slip here. That's the vinyl part, and then that's the seat. Well, maybe it's the other way around. But you see, there are two things that actually slip out the box, and so that's one part, the vinyl part, and the CD part. And if you add up, you can buy them separately. So I think the CD one is like £150, and then the vinyl one is maybe 200 and a bit pounds. So if you add them together, it's only it's under $500 still.
Yeah.
So what are you paying? Another $500
again, this is such a
crazy.
It's a great example of, like, what are you actually paying for? You're paying for the crate, you're paying for the name. Like, I can't think of
these gnomes.
The little gnomes, exactly. Like,
the little gnomes.
I can only think of the other Beatles that would make $1,000 for one album box set. I can't think of any other. What other band would you think would be in this, like, kind of tier of, I'm going to put out one album that's like great, or artist? Like,
I don't know.
Robbie Williams, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way anyone's paying $1,000 for any of his albums, no matter how good or maybe good they are. But, like,
well, I might surprise you later on, lads. So,
oh yeah, I see. But I would love it. Like, if I had the money and it wouldn't hurt my bank account, I would get that. Even though I've heard the album a million times,
The thing that boils my blood is, so it's called the All Things You Must Pass Uber Deluxe box set, like the definitive All Things You Must Pass experience, right? So the definitive, you think it would be, but it doesn't have the original mix of the album. Phil Spector produced this album, and they got rid of a lot of his wall of sound, the thing that he was really famous for. And I think it kind of, so the general consensus of that album is, oh yeah, it's great, but shame it's covered in reverb.
Yeah.
But I think now that I'm listening to it without any reverb whatsoever, it kind of loses the magic. What do you think of that, Marv? What, you've heard it.
It's like, you don't know what you got till it's gone, isn't it? Or like,
exactly, yeah.
Someone like that. I mean, maybe we could use the Tony Hawk analogy. Maybe like, I think even at the time, there was even that thing of, there's a lot of reverb. It's a lot of kind of issues because you look back at Let It Be with the Phil Spector versions, and everyone was like, this is terrible. This is too much reverb, too schmaltzy. Then you had Let It Be Naked, which was what they wanted it to be, even though.
Well, this is kind of like All Things You Must Pass Naked. I haven't heard anyone.
Yeah, but then
that.
But again, like that pulls into question. Okay, this is an Uber, I can't even speak today. Uber Deluxe box set, right? Uber.
Yeah.
You'd want the original version. You'd want the 40th anniversary remixed version. You want the 2022 remix version, because you're all in. You know exactly what you're going to hear. You just want different versions of it. So for them to even not have that, definitely seems like an oversight. And you know that paying £1,000 is a lot for music in today's climate. So why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah. But what you do get is really cool. Like you have I like the way they have the 2 days of day 1 and day 2 of him doing demos. He goes into Phil Spector and he just plays the whole album on an acoustic guitar. That's super cool. And they've made it look like it's in an EMI box, you know, the old big tape reel.
Yeah.
That's unreal. But that comes in the vinyl box set for $200-ish dollars, you know?
Yeah.
So don't know. You're paying. Actually, the book itself is definitely like I've seen the. It's more like the Get Back. I've got the Get Back book here, right? So it's more akin to this quality. It's not. It doesn't look like stuff is stuck in. Like it's definitely a more elaborate, put together book. But like, I can't see where the price tag is coming from. It just shows how much it's actually worth, because the YouTubers that I have seen do unboxings, they've said they've gotten discounts of like $300, you know. So I'd say the majority of people aren't actually paying $1,000. It's just like to get the word out there or something. It's the shock value of it, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think it goes down as well. Like when we played Switzerland and we play in a hotel and it's rich people, and I mean like rich people. I think when you get to that level, it's not about how much stuff you can buy. It's about, I've got this thing which no one else can get because there's only about one in the world. And I think maybe there's that mentality of like, well, you love George Harrison. If you really want it, you can be the person. You know, it'd be like, I heard he's got this massive box set. It literally comes in a crate. Like, I think it has that appeal to it. So when you sit there, you're like, yeah, I didn't get it for free. I didn't get it for 600 quid. I went in. Why not? I'm still living good. I think it has that kind of appeal to it. Mez, I feel like you're about to say something. Let's hear you.
Yes, I am. So yeah, I agree. And I think there is an element of that with a lot in terms of just general stuff anyway. I mean, I've noticed it in the guitar market. This guy 63 Strats original and this and that. And to an extent, I've noticed it with the function stuff, where it's like we'll get hired for a party or something. And the vibe is very much, oh yeah, who found these guys? Oh, I did. You know, it's not necessarily just about the actual content of the music anymore. It's about, look what I found. You know, look what I don't want to say afford because it makes people sound horrible, but it is of that ilk. Like you say, Marv, like rich people, proper rich. I mean, not being funny, if I had that money, I probably would have bought that.
Same.
Just to dive into it.
And it is sold out, by the way. So
yeah.
People are buying it. Yeah, people are buying it. This is
the thing, isn't it? And I think it's really cool that these things exist. And I think it's really up to you whether or not you think worth the money, the price tag they put on it. It's really up to individual who is looking at it to buy. I mean, Oisin, I don't know how much research you've done on this, but are there any second-hand ones available?
There always are. I can imagine it's going for double if you look for it on Discogs, which is
because it's sold out and they're not making any more. Yeah,
Discogs is like the eBay of vinyl, by the way. You can look up for any pressing that you want, and you can literally find, any pressing of any record. I'm sure it's up there. I haven't had a look. I probably should have, but I can imagine it's fetching up to 1.2 or 1.5 thousand for sure up.
And that's
But,
that's another kind of facet of it, isn't it? Scalping, it's called, where it's just like, yeah, people do it with everything these days. Tickets, it happened with the new Xbox and PlayStations that came out. It happens with a lot of things where there's opportunity to make money, and I can very firmly, I don't want to be mean about people, but I can very firmly see people going, oh, I got a couple of grand sitting static in the account. I'm going to buy one and then list the other one for double, and then it's paid for itself. I can see people doing that. I can see that happening.
We've seen that happen with the PlayStation 5. I mean, I literally was there the day it was supposed to be released, trying to refresh. The whole internet was crashed, man.
Yeah.
I never even bothered trying to get it again because it's just impossible.
Well, this is the thing, and I can't help but wonder. I mean, yeah, Hermes goes talking about Queen again. Ooh.
Here we go. Queen talk with Mez. We need like a little theme, like Queen talk with Mez.
Yeah, something like that. There was last year they did their pop-up shop in Carnaby Street. They've done it a few times now, and they had. Oh, that's a big boy.
That's the one.
Oh, that's a big.
Not to interrupt, but yeah, we have this complete studio collection LP box set. You've got all of the albums, as far as I know, colored vinyl.
That is something.
What were you saying?
Yeah, literally. That is something I would 100% buy.
Well, I think it's it's gone.
Without.
Well,
to me that matches the price.
Yeah,
like 450. I don't know what the conversion rate is. Let's say it's 400 quid, British pounds or whatever, to get to get a book, all of those vinyls in a nice, concise kind of box set. To me, that seems the amount I'd be looking to pay. Mez, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, how much. There's 18 vinyl. 18 discs. That's
more than double of All Things Must Pass.
Yeah,
and it's like half the price.
Half the price,
literally.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at that right now, twitching. I'm like,
drooling, are you?
I would own that. I would absolutely own that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, that. I didn't even. I knew it existed, but it says buy now, so I'm assuming it's still in stock. Is it?
I saw it on a different website now. It was out of stock, so I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe you should save up your beaners, mate.
I'm thinking about it, mate. The point I was going to make. So Queen had their pop-up shop at Carnaby Street, and they had all manner of Queen goodies available. And I was going to nip down there. Bristol, London, that's a nip down.
That's fine. Nip it down, yeah.
But I kind of thought, okay, well, if there's anything that I really, really want, then I'll just order it online. And what they did, they released 4 color vinyls separate in the series of all of, and each one's a different member of Queen with 2 songs they've written on side 1 and 2. Now, I don't know how much the vinyls were when they were in the shop, but good God, they did 1,000 of them. I can't remember the exact parameters of that, whether it was 1,000 of each one or it was 1,000 in total, including all 4 of them. But basically, scalpers got hold of it. There were people in the queue who had no interest in Queen going, one of the biggest bands to ever sell. In fact, the biggest streamed single in the UK and all this and that. And they obviously went limited edition, and pound signs blew up in their eyes. Again, it was silly. People were selling these 4 vinyls for, I do believe, before it got taken down, for about the same amount as All Things Must Pass, the entire thing, for 4 limited edition vinyls, which is ridiculous. And I remember I'm part of a Queen group on Facebook.
Of course.
Of course I am. And there were people on there literally just like, this is insulting. They were blaming quite a lot of Queen's team actually, because it's like, why didn't they release like 500 via the fan club, 500 for general sale? And I agree with that. Because people do buy these things to make profit on, and I don't think it's entirely fair because it doesn't give everyone a fair chance, does it? Really, when you think about
No, it doesn't.
Well, Mez,
they have bots and everything, you know.
Yeah. Well, it brings up an interesting kind of point, right? If you think about the value of music now, where you can literally go on YouTube, you can go on Spotify, you don't have to pay a single penny to sign up to any of those websites, and you can just get it for free. You can listen to it legally for free. You know what I mean? So do you think there's an argument to be made that when people either make box sets that are a lot of money, or when they get scalped and then sold for a lot of money, do you think that kind of puts a value back into the art of music? Or do you think it's like a higher way of stealing stuff? What do you think, Mez?
So stealing is a very, very strong term for what these people are doing, because I'd say it's more of a stolen opportunity than actual theft. It's difficult to say. There's two sides of it. When it was happening with Xbox One X's and PS5s, I was kind of like, okay, this sucks, and there are going to be loads of disappointed people everywhere. But I can't, scalping, as buzzwordy as it is now and as frowned upon as it is, it's kind of a bit enterprising, actually, when you think about it, because all these people are doing is buying it for the market price and then shooting it up. I think the issue there is the fact that you have that, what do we call it? It's like artificial market price rise or something like that, because someone's put something up for a stupid amount of money. Someone else who isn't worried about money's no object, has gone, okay, well, I'll buy that. And then all of a sudden, that product is worth that. I expect you two lads are well aware of Reverb, the musical instrument marketplace. Yeah. Great idea. Well, I love.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah, I do know what you're going to say.
The clone.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like, it's a pedal that was, initially $200-ish. Today, you'd be lucky to get one for $5,000, and it's literally just because I've got a clone there, right? So the thing that was so magical about this thing was it was actually gooped. So if you open up the back of the pedal, you can see the circuit usually. But this guy was like, oh, actually, I don't want people to know what I'm doing here. So he got this goop, kind of rubbery, slimy stuff. I don't know, and it hardens, and no one could get that off or de-goop it for years until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And then there's a word for the makeup, the blueprint of the design, and that was leaked. And now there's loads of these clones coming out. So there's the J Rocket Archer. There's loads of these. Their MXR have one called the Sugar Drive. There's loads of them. There's, and they're fetching 200-ish. You could pay that, or you could pay 5,000. Yeah. But
does the same thing.
The same thing, exactly.
Yeah. And
especially in a mix, you're not going to hear the difference. Like, come on.
No, exactly the point, and that's kind of where it comes down to it, isn't it? Because you again, we've gone full circle. We're back into that guy's got an original Clon Centaur. Like, how much did that cost? It's a talking point and a status symbol much more than an actual tool as to what it was made for.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's so. I again, two sides of the coin. I think in one way, scalping can be viewed as, how dare they do this? At the other end of the scale, it's also like, well, they haven't really done anything illegal. It's just morally wrong in some ways to some people. It's that's kind of how I view it, and I get frustrated when I see things that I'd like to buy that are no longer available. but also, I mean, what can you do? That's just the way life is. That's the way it is, unfortunately.
Oisin, what do you think about what do you think about like this? Does it devalue music? Does it put more value on music? Do you think it's more your financial status that changes the kind of pin? What do you think?
I think it's just it just, especially with vinyl as well, like it is happening in the vinyl world. It just shows how much of the resurgence, how much it actually has come back, and people want physical media again. Because you can obviously, you can get all these box sets on Spotify, no problem.
Yeah.
But you don't have the tangibility of it. You don't have the, like, when my look, I got this bad boy for my birthday. So let it be.
Look at there. That's a nice old box
Looky
set
there,
you got
that's on
there.
that old vinyl box set. Yeah, it's a 5 LP vinyl box set. 50th anniversary, let it be. And it's a statement. Like, well, this is what my lovely girlfriend bought this for me for a price of 150-ish euro. And it's not a Clon Centaur, but I can go, look at this, lads.
Yeah.
Or I've already, I've got some mates that are into vinyl, and they're like, wow, that's so cool. But yeah, it's you have this too on your phone.
Exactly.
When you think about it that way. But it's not I have it.
It's not that exactly, but you can have like a £800 phone, two grand phone, and listening to these things. It's like, well, even then you get into things like that. If you're listening to that on a £5, tape machine or whatnot,
something fell out there.
Stuff's falling out. Your stuff's falling out.
Everything's full. Everyone on Spotify. Everything's going.
That's fine. No, that's taken 100 quid off of it. Come on, mate. Yeah. Oh, that's 200 quid. But, sorry, I'll give you a.
It's so cool. It's very different to the Get Back book, which I also have. And I'm not a rich man. Okay, I've
sounds like it right now.
I don't drink. I don't. Music's my life, and it shows handwritten lyrics and goes through every single song. All the songs on the album. A Dig a Pony tells you who played on it. It's actually a bit like Revolution in the Head, the way it's done. It goes through who wrote what, and it's amazing. Love it.
That's really cool.
And then, so then you have the original album remixed by Giles Martin. They've already done Sgt. Pepper, the White Album.
Yeah.
Abbey Road, and they've done this. Well, it's the 50th anniversary, but it's actually gotten moved a year ahead because of COVID. That thing. And man, I love this remix. Have you heard this remix?
No, again,
you haven't heard,
because I've heard the album so many times. Watching the Get Back film, it's like I'm into that. So it poses another question: is now when you think of Let It Be, do you only listen to it on that vinyl, or are there times where you're like, well, I'm in the car or I'm out, let me put it on Spotify? You know what I mean? Does it isolate what albums you listen to in what formats?
Well, yeah. Well, you singled me out for the whole audio file thing, huh?
Yeah, I did.
But if I have a better sounding version, I'm gonna go to the good old vinyl. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for the better experience on the LP. Like, it sounds wonderful. It's the best remix that he's done, in my opinion. I think the other ones were they lost something. The Sgt. Pepper one's brilliant because we all know that they did that crazy, double track overdubs, all those crazy overdubs. Then they had on 4-track, and they have to mix it down to, and you're going second generation tape, third generation tape, and he was actually going, so by the time you hear the drum track, it's like on a third generation tape. So you've heard a degradation in quality. So he was actually able to go back to the source tape, the actual multi-track, and get the freshest, the first generation tape, and you can hear how clear It is. He did a brilliant job. The drums are really pumping, and okay, and then he did the White Album, and I think it was definitely less differences. It may be a bit clearer, but if I actually bought that on vinyl,
Well,
just to hear the difference.
I got the CD version with just the actual demos, which is great.
Oh wow, yeah.
And again, like just
Wonderful.
very quickly, I got the 30-year anniversary of All Things Must Pass on CD. So I got a little box, and I got a booklet, which is quite good. And then you got the 2 things on CD. So it's very, very streamlined, very simple. And there you go. That's all I need to hear. You know what I mean? That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. But so is there any outtakes in that, or?
I don't think so. I think
yeah.
Because again, you get 2 CDs and then you get original jams. So you get It's Johnny's Birthday, Plug Me In, I Remember Jeep, Thanks for the Pepperoni, Out of the Blue, which I mean, to my recollection, I think they were already on the vinyls themselves.
Yeah.
So you don't get anything new. It's just a 30-year remix. This was 2001.
It's a remaster, I believe.
Remaster.
So it's just, you know, they don't have the session, the multi-track. So it's literally just the one track, and they're EQing and compressing the one track to
okay
revamp
that
it.
Makes sense.
Well, that's what a remaster is. When you have a remix, you actually have the full session, the multi-track, and you can turn up individual things: the drums, the kick, the guitar. So that's the difference. If you know, our listeners didn't know that, you know. So what else comes in this is the jams and Apple sessions, rehearsals, and Apple jams, and this is where they're jamming in Apple Studio, and there's a lovely photo of them in Twickenham Studios.
So cool.
And so that's really great. So my only thing about this final box set was, and then obviously we have this lovely thing, which was the original idea. It was originally supposed to be called Get Back.
Yeah.
And this was going to be the cover, which they saved later on for the Blue album compilation disc. But it's really cool. This is the what's his name again? So this was the original mix of the album, and it's got really rough. Like that's what they originally wanted anyway. They wanted to literally just play live like they did in Please Please Me, really. Down to tape, and that's it. Just like all new material. And it didn't really work out. They didn't like this. They shelved this for 50 years, and we're only getting it now. Well, there were bootleg versions, really low quality. But now we finally have it, and it's wonderful. It's great to hear it. But I can obviously hear that, you know, why they didn't release it. Like, it's definitely, they've got studio chatter in between, and but like it's lovely to see how the sausage is made, like you were saying, how it eventually got to the full grand Phil Spector thing that we well, it's great to hear. Obviously this doesn't have the Phil Spector touch to it. It's literally just the rough mixes, and then there's an EP which is cool. It's got see Don't Let Me Down, so a new mix by Gerald Martin, Let It Be, new mix, and then it's got Cross Universe Giles or Glyn Johns mix, unreleased, and I Mean Mine, Glyn Johns. So that's who I was trying to think of, Glyn Johns. He did the original mix of Get Back, the original Let It Be, well, what was supposed to be Get Back.
But look at that, right? That's 150 quid. And
yeah,
to me, that's what All Things Must Pass in terms of the audio should have been like. You've got original thing, you've got the updated thing, you've got EPs, you've got studio sessions. It's like the full gamut of what I'd expect a box set to be. And that's 150 quid. So concise. It's not like overly fancy. It's not so lucrative, and you're pleased with it, and it's affordable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, and it's also it's arguably affordable. Like it's definitely a lot more than anyone would pay on an album, because it is one album. That's the only thing that you kind of have to think about. Like, when am I gonna listen to like this again, or this, or this?
Yeah.
Because everything's on one LP. Like, if I'm in the mood for Let It Be, I'm going to listen to the new remix. Well,
Exactly.
That's yeah. So like, I remember the day I got it, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be amazing. So first of all, I listened to the remix, then I listened to this, and I was kind of like, it's great, but they're all the same songs again, like different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's subtle differences, and then you listen to this again, and it's all the same songs again, and then some of the same songs again. So
Yeah.
you definitely would not listen to them all one after the other. Like, you have to choose one per day, like, to listen to. Or if you're in the mood,
which makes you cherish it more, right? You're not just going to go through it all like a kid at Christmas and then be
no,
bored of
which
it.
I
Like you,
tried to, and I just was kind of like, wow. I'm in mine, I'm in mine, I'm in mine.
yeah, you just get so annoyed of them. Yeah,
That's a big task for one.
This is another offering from the Beatles that we got this year, the Plastic Ono Band Ultimate Collection Deluxe box set. I love this album.
right.
It's the best thing I think John Lennon ever did on his own. Like, this is one that I would love to have, but I actually already had it on vinyl.
Yeah,
The original mix, which
159 new
I admit,
mixes.
yeah, it's crazy.
So
like,
many.
so what they did with this, they didn't give the vinyl box set the same treatment as the CD box set. So the CD box set has 6 CDs, 2 Blu-rays for 5.1 Dolby Atmos spiel, and you get a lovely 133 page booklet, posters, postcards, and I think this is £150 as well. Like, great
Not
value
out
for
the
money.
way, really. Not out the way price wise, I don't think, for that level of
Pretty
content.
good. Yeah, I feel
that.
I feel that you're getting more for your money, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, so the vinyl version is only 2. I think they only, if I can find it here, they only do, like, I think the outtake. So you get the remix of the album plus the the rough mixes of the songs.
Yeah.
But like, it's so cool. It's super well done. Show these are obviously clips from the books. These are the session tapes. Love seeing them. Amazing. I'd love to hear one of them one day. Yeah. This is drawings of the studio, and it's so cool because, like, what I always thought about this album was, like, this was Lennon's really angry period, and he was like, oh, F Paul, and blah, blah, blah. And he went in and recorded this album, and like, in a punk kind of way, he was just like, mother, blah, blah, screaming, mother, don't go, ma, but then you see here, take 61, mother, take 61. He's done so many takes of this, but, like, it's still that rough vibe that you get.
That's
like,
and again, he's like, for anyone's not heard that song, he is screaming. It's like
screaming
guttural
at the end.
screaming. Yeah,
It's like he doesn't care about his vocal cords anymore. It's like, I've left the Beatles, I don't need these vocal cords anymore. Like, and he's
yeah,
it's pretty
insane
metal, I guess. And he's like, do you know when you hear a metal head or a Lamb of God or whatever, they're screaming, they're doing it in a safe way, like, kind of,
yeah
that, where they're not damaging their voice. This is the exact opposite. Mother, at the very end, he's tearing his vocal cords apart.
I remember being like,
unreal.
it kind of scared me when I first heard it. It was so intimate, and I was just like, this is not that it's wrong, but I was just like, this is too much. It's way too much.
Yeah. So then you have, like, elements. This is really cool. So, like, the way they do it is different to the Beatles. So they've got, the full album, the ultimate mixes. Then they've got like the ultimate mixes, the outtakes. So it's the full album again, I guess, but it's like
Yeah.
a different, an alternate take. So it's a take that didn't make it,
Yeah.
Then there's the Elements mixes where they take like they solo. You're hearing the whole song with something in solo, or it's without the drums, or like I have the Imagine deluxe LP, and that's what you get on this. You get the remix album, and then you get the Elements mixes.
Okay.
Well, you get a bit of each. I think you get the outtakes,
Yeah.
and then you're paying extra for the Elements mixes. Yeah, it's really cool on the Elements mixes on this because you've got strings, so you're hearing like on Imagine, you're hearing just the strings. It's unreal, like just to hear them soloed.
Yeah.
And like a few different things, like, but on this I suppose it's minimal, the production, and then you've got studio demos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
It's
91 of Mother on that one there.
Yeah. So like it's just crazy. It's totally changed my what I thought about this album. I thought this was his punky album, and he was just like, just get in and do one take. And well, I believe he did that with Instant Karma. It was literally just one take. And no, it's proved me wrong. Take 10,
take 5.
See,
he I think he mixed up. He wrote, recorded, and maybe
Yeah.
released it in one day, something like that.
Right, but he did 10 takes of it or whatever, and
Mad.
well, more. But like that's just how they did it back then. They had no way of fixing it post recording it, so they you had to do it. And then there's one, if I can find it. Yeah, so there's a live session. There's one where he's actually talking, like, event.
The
Evolution documentary. So it's Lennon just talking candidly while he's recording, and it's just so cool to like you said, Mez. Like we eat up everything. It's like, oh, he wore that hat on that session or whatever. Like just to hear him talk, just normally about everyday things, is just fascinating to me. Like he talks about. I don't think he has Sean at this time. No, I think he was born in 75 or something.
Yeah.
But he's talking about having Julian or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, if you don't have kids, you're not living, man." It's just so cool to see that side of him, because he's doing the protests with Yoko. He's doing, hair a piece, give peace a chance, and that's another cool thing about Get Back, where you see Lennon and he's really chill and he's having fun, and when you see around this era, he's doing all those really uptight interviews where he's like, "Oh, the Beatles were gonna break up anyway," and it's a really cool take to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of the thing, isn't it? Because you see him as this mythological man that's just unobtainably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's almost like you've gone round to see him, and you've gone round to like spend an afternoon with him.
Yeah, it humanizes him, which I think now you look at the world of celebrity, where you have Twitter, you have Instagram, like you can message anybody you want. Doesn't mean they're going to respond, but like you have a direct way into their world. Whereas if you think, let's say pre-social media, so let's say like 2003, like if I was like, okay, I want to message Serge Tankian from System of a Down. I want to like send him something so he's going to know who I am. How the hell do you do it? Who do you email? Do I email his record company? Like, it's impossible. And I think that is part of the humanizing process, which is part of our world. And people aren't so fascinated by this kind of mystery anymore. Especially like when you play music, you're just like, it's just a guy working up there, And I think the general public have that same view now. So they look at Len, they look at the Beatles, and they're just like, yeah, as mythical as they are, it just humanizes them, and then it makes them more relatable, Which leads me on to quickly with the Lennon box set, right? So obviously this is just the box, right? I think this was about.
That's not the whole thing.
Not the whole thing, mate. You'd be surprised.
No? Oh,
So I think
thought
it's
it was
about
just an
100
empty
quid.
box.
It's about 100 quid. I got it for Christmas one
It's not
time.
a Mac
so-
Mini, no.
It's not a Mac Mini. No, this is the shock and revelation. So it's got
Ooh.
drawings. It's like nice. You know what I mean? And again, 100
very
quid
nice.
is like
Wow.
cheap. Underneath, that's gone. You just get like a booklet that has one drawing in it.
Wow.
That's all that is.
I love that.
It's on the bottom. It's cool, isn't it? It's like it makes
That's
you feel special.
Yoko out the door. Yeah.
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 And then you get a booklet on the top, which kind of just talks about, how much John Lennon meant to everybody, and lyrics like that with drawings. So it's in the same vein. Stuff like Get Back. You got an online thing, which is just
Your digital download.
seems to be John Lennon universe.
I actually meant to bring that up with you, Oisin. In the All Things Must Pass box set, when people were opening it, did they have a little card where you can digitally download these songs for free? Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
So they've basically sorry to cut you off, Mark. They've
That's
legitimately covered all angles with that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So CDs, vinyl, digital. Yeah.
Any cassettes?
That's too
they've
rare,
ruined
mate.
it.
We haven't
They've
got
ruined
there
it.
yet. We haven't got
They've
there
ruined
yet.
it. Ruined
That's
it.
a pop punk thing only, I think. Cassettes.
Yeah, it is.
So we get
You
all
say-
these CDs. Look, they're in a nice little styrofoam
Yeah. So
case,
yeah,
which is great.
that's
right?
it. The discography box set.
The discography box set, and what you get this nice. So again, I think now with box sets, it's you maybe pay a certain price, like with the Metallica ones, right? You pay a certain price for how much unseen bonus demo content you want. Whereas I think this was 2009, 2010. So I've got the singles. So it gives you the singles, which aren't on the albums, and then you get home tapes. So I've got the studio outtakes and the home recordings of Mother, Love, God, I Found Out, and then you've got Nobody Told Me, Honey Don't, One of the Boys, India, India, Serve Yourself, Isolation, Remember, Beautiful Boy, and then I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, I Don't Want to Die. So that one's good. I think there's one more. Let me check. Could be wrong.
So that's a comp of singles.
Well, yeah, it's like going back to what you just shown us, where you've got from one album, you've got these reams of like, okay, strings only this, piano only this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This. Like 12 years ago, I guess we got given 13 tracks where you're like, okay, here's one session, but I won't outtake. I'm not going to tell you what take it is. But then you think again, it adds to the story. You think, well, this must be the only outtake. And then you get more of a bigger picture now that, yes, it's recycling the same old stuff over and over again, but you pay for the convenience, you pay for what it looks like and how you use things. And I want to say, because I swear there was one where he was like taking the mickey out of Bob Dylan. There was this weird thing where like he idolized him, then met him in the Beatles like mid-60s, realized how much of like a drunk he was or whatever, and was kind of like, I'm not really sold on him, and then was like kind of slagging him off in his like solo period. It's so strange.
And then he became a druggie himself. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but yeah, that's like the biggest box that I've got. And then the only other one I've got is this one, Stadium Arcadium.
Oh, wow.
I got this for 50 quid at the old music shop, which is now a fruit shop. But strange, there's things in here that I've never seen another box set have. So you get your booklet with the lyrics. There's nothing special about this. You just get little like pictures and things, like pretty standard fare. This was a big deal back in the day, this album. It's kind of like the pinnacle really of them. You get the albums on CD. I don't know where the second one is. You'd have to tell me. You get a DVD where it's a track by track commentary, but it's videos of them talking. So it's DVD and they're just going to, yeah, I came up with this riff on here and blah, 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 which I quite liked. I've watched that more. I've got this, which is a spinning top. And
That's
you can
really
choose,
cool.
You can choose which spinning top thing you want to look at. Has like what correlation has this got to, Humpty Bump? Nothing.
I love that.
Nothing. But that's there.
I'm so into that. I'm so into that.
That is strange.
Level of like it's almost like you've gone through the museum of Red Hot Chili Peppers and you visited the gift shop on the way out and bought a little spinning top. I'm
Literally
sorry.
what it's like.
I'm an absolute sucker for little things like that.
What about this then? Little bag, and it's got marbles in it.
I
I've
love
got
it.
One
I'm
big
sold.
marble, and then I got some little ones. I guess
I'm
because
sold.
it had Mars and Jupiter with the album titles. Like, but what are we doing, Mez? Like, what? Who is this meant to be aimed at? Like, what is this representing to the wide world?
So, I want to say around 20 to 30 years ago, Iron Maiden released a, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was a big tin with loads and loads of stuff in. Now, this tin was shaped and it was colored. Obviously, we all know what Iron Maiden's of Iron Maiden's mascot, Eddie. He featured all over it because he's that's a very smart thing, marketing plan, having a mascot and slapping him over everything. That's a really cool idea. So this tin, you open it up, and inside it was lined with like this red velvet thing. It had I think it was well, it definitely was. It was like a deluxe CD box set thing with 2 shot glasses. Iron Maiden has, to my knowledge, never released any sort of spirit, which is what you put in a shot glass. They have obviously released Trooper beer, which you would not drink out of a shot glass. I think, more so than anything, it's just it's like a little keepsake. You know what I mean? It's like something, I don't want to be rude about it, but it's like something your nan would buy you for Christmas if she doesn't really know what you're into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some years ago when I was a child, a great aunt of mine bought me a pen.
Nice.
And this pen, it was wooden, and at the other end there was a little shape of Santa Claus. It was shaped to be Santa Claus, basically. And I have no idea where this pen's gone. I may never see it again.
Anyone can find this pen for James.
But there's not a day. There's not a day that goes by.
Take you for a coffee. Down at Bristol.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Oisin. That's my line.
Show me the pen first, then you get your latte.
I'm a true fan.
Yeah, love it, mate. Love it. No, but it's, you know what I mean. It's like I love that they do it, and I get that you're sat there like, who is this for? I'm not 12. I don't want spinning top. But I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that. It's just unique. It's different, and almost in a way, it makes me want to think that it's like, okay, well, the band had some say in this.
Yeah.
Because then it's not just corporate record company CEOs, owners going, let's rehash this and make millions, please.
Yeah.
It's that there's
they're adding something that'll add to the experience.
Yes. That's exactly
yeah.
my point. Exactly my point. And it like I said, I just find it cool.
He finds it cool.
I'm well into stuff like that.
This is, I think, is like a notepad, but it's very, very small. Like, that's ridiculously
That's like a
small.
match. It's like one of those old little things that you could get matches in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Sans the matches. And then I think the coolest part here is you get 4, like, I say handwritten. I mean, obviously they're printed, but each band member's got, like, this is Chad Smith saying, I want to say hello in every language. So I use his hand gesture, writes it down.
Is that his baby hand?
I mean, I think it is his hand, but again, it's been scaled down. But
I was going to say, he's got very small.
Maybe he's got ridiculously small hands. That's why it
looks
works.
like my son's handprint that I have.
Was it your son's handprint, Oisin?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what he's been doing with this.
That's what he's been doing with his life.
Oh,
crazy drawings, which I mean are good or bad depending on your artistic leaning. Just kind of scribbles and stuff. And then you get this as like a big long kind of the world is yours. You are not connected to the world like you think. Make a connection, plant a tree. Like, okay, cool, yeah, no worries. But like, that is nice. Cool. And again, this is an example of a box set that came out, I believe, when the album came out, 2006. So It's not something where you're like now the album is 16 years old. So 15 years, you kind of think, okay, it's getting into this legacy territory. It's a very, very celebrated album for them. But that came straight out as it did.
Yeah, that's gutsy, really, isn't it?
It's pretty gutsy.
It is.
I mean, especially with those kind of bands, when you know something's going to sell very well and you're already in your career 20 plus years at that point, why not do that? And again, 50 quid, I mean, for a DVD, essentially, to me, that's all right. I'm fine with that. Double album and a DVD, especially at that point, and it still sells for that on eBay. But those are pretty much my two box sets that mean anything. I've got an ABBA box set, which is just the albums, and they're just in those little cardboard kind of sleeves. I don't know how much this was. It might be like 20 quid or something. But again, I'm not a huge fan of ABBA, but I want to listen to all their albums. So I'll just have it in a box set, please. See you later. It's all there. Bang. Easy. No.
I used to have a CD box set. I might have shown you. I mentioned it briefly in year one in BIM. It was 5 CDs of the Doors, and it was just like you had there, just the digipacks.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like £15 or something. Lost it though. I wish I still had it.
Don't count if you haven't got it, mate.
Don't count. Yeah. Mez,
don't count.
Any box sets or issues or deluxe stuff you want to talk about?
So I was rooting through and discovered that the only box set I've ever bought in my life was the reissue of Brian May's Back to the Light, which I bought for my mother.
Of course.
Excellent, isn't it?
It's like you can't write it. You can't write it.
No, you really can't. So I bought this last year when it came out. I wanted to buy two, one for me, one for her, but I was kind of like, I don't live far away from mum. If I really want to go and listen to it, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy super uber deluxe one because I'll tell you why. I bought one down from that, which is still a big vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
It's what do they call it? It's still the same thickness as like an old vinyl would be. Come on, audiophile, tell me what that is, Oisin.
Go on, Oisin.
What, where it's 180 gram, is it?
That's the boy.
That's why we need you on the podcast.
That's why we need you. We might make him a permanent fixture.
Standard.
Yeah. They made it big and heavy. It's
heavyweight vinyl, 108 gram. Yeah, all that spiel. Yeah,
it's a chunky boy. I'm telling you. But it's an actual box. Obviously, the same size as vinyl. You take it out, and there's like a big picture of Brian May. Now, the difference between the one I bought and the one up from that is the one up from that Brian May hand signed. And it added £100 onto the final price. Which,
I bet you're raging you can get that.
Yeah. Oh, gutted, mate. I'm crying. I've actually got his autograph because I met him. But
oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, that's fine, man. I said to Mum, what I'll do is I'll cut out the piece of paper.
You should have.
I'll trace it out and then I'll blue tack it onto the photo. You'll never know.
You could sell that for more.
Sell it for more.
Who's got that?
Am I playing at?
Who's got that?
Oh man. But yeah, and you take it out. It's got the vinyl, which is really nice. I think it's a white vinyl. Back to the light, so it's going to be white, isn't it? All of the songs sound drastically better quality in comparison to the original pressing, which I'm really impressed with. And it's got a little badge, which has got like Brian May Gold series on. As soon as I saw that, I was like, he's going to do his other album as well. That's what's going to happen here. So getting ready for that. But yeah, and it's really well presented. It's really, really nice. There's a CD with the remaster on it as well. So you've got a CD and a vinyl, and it goes back to not as extreme as you having Let It Be 20,000 times in the same box set. To my knowledge, there are no outtakes. There were no like demo versions and stuff. But Queen have started doing this with the newer released deluxe versions of their albums. They'll have like demo versions. They released something a while ago called Queen at the BBC. That's really cool. But that is if you are a super mega nerd, like with the John Lennon and the Beatles box sets, because it will literally have BBC Studios, Studio 3, Keep Yourself Alive. And it will have that version that they recorded in Studio 3 at the BBC. Track 4, Keep Yourself Alive. Studio 4, and then it will have that version which they recorded at studio. You see where I'm going with this? It's very similar, but not as in depth as the Beatles stuff.
It's not like take 35 or whatever.
No. But I really like that level of intricacy. I also love the level of intricacy they went with Let It Be, All Things Must Pass. So that's the only box set I bought in my life. So I'm going to change. Where's it now? It's put away somewhere. Is where it is.
Safe key.
Somewhere safe.
Bags won't let me touch it. She won't let me touch. She won't even let me sniff it. So I have taken this opportunity to take some of my special edition vinyls out and flex them a little bit.
Do it.
Oh, I guess I'm flexing on.
So the first one is one that our dear Mags actually bought me for Christmas.
If this is another Queen record, I'm going to...
No. It is Slade in Flame.
Lovely.
It is the album they released, go with the film. And as you can see, I don't know if you do this, Oisin. I know Marv doesn't. He rips up anything he can.
One album. I did it with one album.
No, I don't accept that. You're still in the doghouse over that. So this here is the sticker. Yes, that was on the Polity now. So I take the stickers off. I put them on the actual vinyl because I don't know, makes me happy. But what makes this special? So it is a remaster, I do believe. Gold selling soundtrack, features sharp hits. This is a limited edition, and I'll show you for why.
Go on, Oisin. What you saying?
Here's what I do with the hype stickers, because they're also fucking cool. Shouldn't have said that, but
it's all right. We love swearing. We love it.
It's fine.
Right, so
he puts it on the plastic sleeve on the outside.
I put it on the plastic sleeve, yeah. So
that is a better idea.
You're not ruining the cover.
Yeah,
plastic.
That sticker
plastic. Oh no! Anyone like that joke? Good joke.
You're
plastic.
Crap,
oh no, band.
you're crap, mate.
Mate, I've got great jokes. All right, funny.
For the
that is a cool vinyl. I do like that.
It's what you call.
Oh, that is cool.
Yes.
Oh, fingers on the wax.
Oh no!
Fingers on the grooves. Oh.
Shut up! It's made to be played.
It's not going to play in the correct hertz now. Oh.
The beauty of it is.
Go on. No, Sheen, go for it. What are you going to say?
Go on. Here we go.
You have grease on your fingers, man. That's going to be in the grooves forever now.
Oh, just go.
You have to ultrasonically clean that, man.
Oh.
That's fine. That.
That's my hype sticker for the Beatles box set.
Nice.
He's kept it.
Mate, that'd be in the bin if that was me. I'd just chuck it in the bin. Screw it.
But man, people love it. If you're ever going to resell that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Gotta have that hype sticker.
Wow.
It adds to
Can't get it back in now.
Well, it shows you which pressing it is. It shows you what reissue it is. Like from a glance. Like
exactly. And that's cool. Important in my eyes, especially if you're an audiophile or whatever.
I also have it on this OK Computer OK Not OK edition. So it was released in 2017. Yeah, so 97 to 2017, the 20th anniversary. And it's triple 108 gram vinyl containing the original album, 3 unreleased tracks, and 8 B-sides, all newly remastered from the original analog tapes, including a download code. So, it tells you exactly what it is. So that's why I like it, That's why I like keeping them.
That's cool.
And it's cool. It's got originally, because it's quite a long album, it's released on 2 LPs. So you've got like side A, B, C, D, right? And then you've got, it's actually a triple gatefold. So it's the only one I've ever seen, actually. It's really cool.
Oh, I might be able to one up you there. Go on, let's have a look.
Yeah, same. Here we go.
So
nice.
And then there's that in the
That's
middle.
cool.
A bit in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a triple gatefold.
Let me see what I've got. You continue. I'll see if I can find
All right. Gonna quadruple gatefold, is it?
Quintuplet gatefold. Sextuplet gatefold.
Where are you?
No, I feel you, Oisin. I like having the stickers,
and
just because I'm not necessarily angling to resell because I love I love collecting them. But I know what you mean. It feels complete, doesn't it, with that?
Yeah. No, but like it's kind of like if I threw that away, I'd be like, oh, what's on the bonus disc? I don't remember. At least I can read it there, and I know exactly what's on it in
Yeah.
a few words.
Yeah, I feel that.
Are you ready for me to blow your mind?
Okay,
very
cool.
quickly? Right, this
Here
I've never
we
seen this
go.
before. Right, Bee Gees' greatest hits. Right, sorry for everyone who's not watching this instead, just listening. This is great. This is great. It's got so many good songs on it. It just gives you everything you need for the Bee Gees. Obviously, not the older kind of stuff, but I've never seen this before. So bang, there's Barry. Right. Oh, let's have all three of them. Let's go. And look at that. You can just make them talk to each other. I've never seen that before.
Zoom in on their faces.
Uh,
He is not happy to be there. He's confused. And he's loving it. Go on, Bazza. Kill it, the old son. How deep is your love?